talk about your other grandfather. I
Yep.
take it he wasn't a piper.
He was not a piper. No,
Okay, that's
no.
fine.
Yep. Yep.
So that takes care of the grandparents.
That's right.
They're
Yep.
installed. They're in Toronto area.
Yep.
And they're working in the motor industry.
Well, they worked as tenant farmers, and then they went down to Detroit.
Yeah.
To the Ford Motor Company, because that was a big booming industry at that time.
And what happened after the crash, the 29 crash? Did that affect?
Oh yeah. I mean that was there. As you have nowadays, you have sections of big cities that are have portions of them like Chinatown and the Polish part and the Italian part and that kind of thing. Well, in Detroit they formed what they called the Lewis Society. It would have been probably better represented or called the Hebridean Society, but the Lewis Society was simple. And it was basically people that spoke better Gaelic than they did English.
Yeah.
So they formed their own little community. There was an old country baker, a Scottish baker, and a Scottish butcher, and that kind of a thing. And so that's where my mom and dad met as kids, was at this Lewis Society.
Good.
So that my mom never played, never did whatever. My dad played without a doubt, and he played on the right shoulder. Like most of the Irish people do.
Yeah.
And his dad didn't though. His dad played on the left shoulder, and when my dad taught me, it was very naturally that I just put my left hand on the top, and he didn't decide to change it. So.
So you're conventional then.
Yes, I am.
For want of a better explanation.
That's it. And the piping was very much my grandfather's life, in as much as when work was finished, he came home, he bathed, he ate, and then he went and he played pipes, or he went and got the practice trainer out. He was in a pipe band called the Detroit Highlanders, which was a part of the Ford pipe band, and the Ford pipe band they run around and did functions and stuff like that.
Various gigs.
Yeah,
see the Lewis Society did the dances and accordion music and all that sort of
of course
stuff.
they did.
Same as the Highlanders in Glasgow.
Every Friday night, Al.
Yeah,
every Friday. They wouldn't do it on Saturday, because
it's always a Friday night.
It
Saturday night, 2 years to Sabbath.
So and absolutely, they got together. The men would set the hall up, and the chairs and all that kind of stuff, and then the women would all bring a dish each, and they would have a ceilidh, and they would have
singing,
very much a social function. Exactly.
And piping.
There were, and the Highland dancing community and the piping community. It was very, very much. Well, I think it was the thing to do. They didn't. In order to have a television, you really had to be really wealthy. But so it was a form of entertainment, and that's what they did.
Much more social.
Very much so.
Atmosphere.
Yeah.
Now that's your grandparents.
Yep.
Your father would come along. What happened there?
He was taught by his dad, my grandfather, Doanld MacPhee, and his name is Sandy MacPhee, Alexander MacPhee, and he was taught at a very young age, and was probably a situation where he was forced to play, but very, very happily that he did.
Aye.
And so he competed and was involved in pipe bands. He was best mates with a fellow by the name of Gordon Tuck, who was pipe major of the McNish Distillery pipe band, and they got Gord's students together and my dad's students together at a time during the 60s, and they formed a band. So basically, my dad has been playing his whole life, a very, very, very good player, very, very clean player, and I think because of that, just turned out to be a really good teacher.
Instrument, is such a thing as an instrument handed down through generations, or did folk just play their own? acquired instruments? What happened?
Yep, I've got my grandfather's pipes, a set of the Silver and Ivory Hendersons, and so they weren't the pipes that he left Scotland with, because he actually saved money in order to get pipes like that, and his brother actually went and tried out a number of pipes at Peter Henderson's shop, and then picked the pipes, paid for them, and then when one of my great uncles brought them over to the States back in thereafter World War II.
So that would be pipes that were made during the decade of the First World War?
Well, I think post World War One, pre World War II kind of a thing. So
you don't know what decade they were made in?
Well, with the silver marks, the people think it's easy in order to read the hallmarks and stuff like that. I don't find it easy.
No.
Funnily enough, but 37 is what I've been told what the stamp mark is. So
that's quite late on too.
Yeah. Well, it was a lot of money in these days and that kind of a thing. Even though when you think about it now, it wasn't a lot of money, but I think it was purchased a couple of years before they went over and before they did. I think the most important thing was to get a good pipe. And then once they got a good pipe, then to save money as far as the journey going over to stateside.
But they are Henderson bagpipes.
They are Henderson bagpipes, absolutely.